Hello, hello. Welcome for another episode of the Author Spotlight. Hey, it's your host with the motion, man, Darren and Palmer. So excited to be with you for another episode. Well, I get the honor and the privilege to be able to go behind the scenes and interview authors who are making a change locally and globally. We definitely have somebody who knows how to do it on a global level. I got my girl Jodi Greve on today. Jodi suspects her wanderlust was a result of her upbringing. She believes it certainly started her on a path of discovery to self and health that she may not have otherwise known. Jodi says, looking back, it's been a pretty interesting journey. Adopted at birth by John and Diane Greve, Jodi, along with her brother Scott, spent much of her early life in a tiny South Texas town of Kenedy. By the time she turned 16, she had moved several times, even moving 3 times in a single year of high school. As a teenager, she wasn't excited or thrilled about constant moving, but as an adult, she has come to really appreciate the places she's been able to experience. I just want to introduce and share a little bit about the bio about my girl, Jodi. Jodi, welcome to the Author Spotlight.
Well, thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I didn't share everything in your bio. Anything that I left out, I want you to share with the audience, if you don't mind.
Well, I ended up, like you said, I was at 3 different high schools within 1 year. I actually haven't lived anywhere longer than 5 years since I was 10. So moving around quite a bit. I coached college basketball for 14 years. And back in 2015, decided I needed a timeout from that and moved back to Fayetteville, where I went to school at the University of Arkansas. And I say that, people ask me where I live, and I tell them I have a home in Fayetteville, but really I'm on the go so much, it's hard to really say that I live anywhere. So I just say I live in the world.
I love that. I live in the world. There goes a value bomb right there. I wish I had the sound effects. Jodi, I want you to tell the audience the name of your book and why did you write this book as your first book?
Well, the name of my book is My Life in the 50 States, and I've been to all 50 states. Back when I was on a recruiting trip on a Southwest Airlines flight, the lady sitting next to me, we were having a conversation and talking about all the states we had been to, and we looked at the napkin, and the Southwest napkins have the entire country on there, and we were marking them all off. And at that time, I was down to, I believe, 35, and only had 15 left. And so over the next few years, I was able to hit all 50 states. And my friends have always told me I have had a very interesting life and that I should write a book. And I thought they were crazy because, to be honest with you, I don't like writing. But it's completely different when you know the outcome, it's your own story, and everybody has a story to tell. So writing this book was a little different and a little easier for me because I knew the outcome of it. I knew exactly what happened. And it was just an opportunity for me to tell everybody, because every state I had something different happen that was life-changing in some sort of way, life lessons in different aspects, from being in the Deep South with my stories that happened in Mississippi and Alabama, to life lessons of what's happened to me in Florida and an instance that happened to me at a bar. But then you get my story from California, and you get to hear about what NBA players I got to hang out with and enjoy a night out with. So basketball definitely took me through the majority of these journeys, and just wanted to share a little light on what happened on all those.
Now, I want to back that up, and I want to thank you so much, Jodi, for sharing that information with us. But for those of you who overthink, I got to speak to the overthinkers out there, AKA perfectionists out there. You just heard what you're talking. You said, wait a minute. Did the lady on the Author Spotlight just say that she don't even like writing and she's on the Author Spotlight to be an author? Exactly, people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You got to make sure that you understand it's not all about trying to be the next Hemingway. You don't have to be out looking outside of a window in Cuba to think that you are a writer. It's just about your experience. And Jodi chose to take that experience that she has, what she was able to do, what she loves to do in that travel, and put it out. What about you? Where in your area in your life you might think it's boring to you? Nobody don't want to hear about this. It might be welding. you'll be shocked how many people might be interested in welding or cooking or whatever it may be. You know, my girl Paula Dean was able to make a career from making those little sandwiches with her sons to be able to build an empire. Even though ups and downs, she still made a way out of no way. And for you out there who are tuned in, I want you to take what Jodi shared with us. She doesn't even like writing, but she's an author. So, you know, Jodi, I know that you're a go-getter and you're a type of person that you execute. If you know, by being a coach and all that, you got to do that. You can't lead it. If you're not going to execute, you can't lead other individuals to be able to execute and do what they need to do on and off the court as well. So do you agree with that, of the importance of, even if you don't like something, that you can still execute and share something with the world?
Oh, most definitely. Because I believe that everybody has a story. Everybody's, you know, you're leading your own life. And if you're leading somebody else's life, you're kind of going about it the wrong way. You need to lead your own life, and everybody has a story to tell. And for, you know, I always thought my story was very interesting, but I didn't really know how many people would think it was that interesting until I got older. And I think that you'd be surprised at how many, like you were saying, like, even if it's welding, there is somebody out there that really enjoys welding. You know, somebody wants to hear that. There's somebody out there that really enjoys traveling. You know, I'm a single female who was a basketball coach and now travels. I'm a health coach, and I have all these different aspects. And for a long time, I was like, there's nobody else out there that's like me, or at least I just wasn't meeting them. And I think through this, I'm going to be able to reach those other people that are like me, who don't think that there's anybody out there like them as well. Because for me, being single and traveling and stuff, there's, you know, I always see the married folks with kids, the divorced folks with kids. Like, it's just, I never found that same niche that I had, that I fall into. But everybody does fall into a category, and there is somebody out there who you can help with your story. And you can even, you add the fact that I'm adopted into that as well. And the more and more I'm open about those things, I'm really surprised at how many people I'm touching with those stories. And you just never know. You never know who else might be going through the same thing that you're going through, dealing with the same thing, or enjoying the same thing that you are. So just do it.
All right, come on, man. That was him. Girl, put that Nike in there, put that check in there. You don't have to go to Oregon. Jodi telling you best. Just do it. And, you know, for that, those who are feeling that pressure, I want you to understand that it's important to realize that there is a tribe for you out there. I'm going to just be honest. Why Jodi brought that up, I look at where we are right now with this interview. That was the last thing on my mind, was starting a company that helped people with publishing at all. I just did a book because I needed to do a book. And so when Jodi is sharing that, when I realized, like, wait a minute, other people need help with this as well. Just like with traveling. I love Jodi's manuscript because I'm a traveler. So regardless of, you know, single or sexuality or whatever, I love to see the story. I think that's why my man, I think his name was it Anthony Bourdain, the one who passed away or whatnot, I think on the Travel Channel. I think so. But anyway, that would allow for so many people to connect with him. It was the traveling, the different food, the experiences, the things like that. People were able to live vicariously through him and through his story in the same way that they're doing with Jodi, where her book, My Life in the 50 States. Now, with that being said, I know people are already saying it. I can feel it in my spirit. How in the world did this woman write a book? She's you know, climbing mountains, she's biking, she's coaching, she's traveling all the time. How in the world was she able to create this book? So if you don't mind, share with us some of the hacks, some of the things that you did, whether it was journaling or audio that you did to get this book done.
Well, for me, excuse me, I actually started this book not really with the intention of publishing it. I started writing this book probably about 1.5 years ago, almost 2 years ago, and got through, I think, maybe 20 states and just stopped for whatever reason. And then when I really decided, which was after I hiked Mount Kilimanjaro this past January, after that, I really decided I wanted to finish this book. And for me, I work from home. We all know that home can provide a lot of distractions. I cleaned more than I ever cleaned when I don't need to be cleaning and I need to be sitting there writing. So I ended up going to the library, going old school, went to the library, would find a spot in a quiet corner and just type away. And like I said earlier, this was a little easier for me to write because it was I knew the outcome. I knew it was happening, how all the stories ended. It was just a matter of putting all of those thoughts finally and typing those out onto paper.
I love that. I love that. Just getting it done. You heard what my girl Jodi said. She went old school way. So a lot of you get caught up, well, I got to have this app. And when I get this, I find so many people that are always buying and purchasing things, just like you were doing to clean it up. They're buying stuff to get started writing. I got to buy some more pens. Well, that pen didn't work. I got to have the right pad. And I mean, man, come on, just chill out. Just start wherever you are. If it's the local library, if it's in your closet, wherever it is, I want you just to get started. This is a perfect segue because I got to ask you this. What gave you the mindset to say, you know what? I'm going to actually make this a book though. Because it's one thing, like you say, if you're just journaling because you were journaling, period, because that was just for you personally. But when you knew, man, I got to get this done, what was your mindset to say, you know what? I'm going to get it done regardless and make this a book and share that, because those are some intimate things that you shared as well. So what made you say I can write a book when so many have failed at the task?
Because why not? Nobody's ever told my story before. So somebody needs to, and better not, why not be me? And I remember after I had started writing the book, I was at a conference with some friends, and we were sitting in the hotel room, and we were talking about our business, and I had mentioned that I was writing the book, and one of the girls, it stuck with me. She was so excited. She was like, I can't wait to read your book. And for whatever reason, and she are friends, but it's not like we're super close friends. We talk all the time or anything like that. But for whatever reason, it stuck with me, and I would keep thinking about it. I'm like, I need to finish this so Kayla can read my book. And it wasn't even necessarily so that thousands of people can read this or whatever, but it was like, she was genuinely excited about it. And anytime somebody shows you that much excitement about something that you're doing, it's almost accountability for you to do it. And I kept thinking about it. It's like, well, Kayla needs to read my book. I need to finish this. But I think that the more and more with each state that I wrote, I realized how many different people I would be able to reach out to with a particular story. And because, the basketball, the athletic world, the sports world, they would get a little glimpse into my business life and what was going on with that and my family life. And I talk about when I learned about my ethnicity and everything, the adoption world. Well, they can learn a little bit more about sports and that kind of thing. So I think just thinking about all the different people that it might reach, and if Kayla likes the book, then I did what I was set out to do.
Hey, was she liking that? She got something to read. So you did your part. If you got it to her to read, at least you're able to say yay or nay or whatnot. But I think that's a great thing that you was able to do that. And speaking of this, what does it mean to you, Jodi, because you've been able to do some extraordinary things. Y'all got to get the book. That's all I'm going to say. Just go get the book, My Life in the 50 States. But how do you feel about this accomplishment with knowing that, wow, I really did it. I am a published author. How does that align with some of the other great feats and things that you've been able to accomplish?
I think it's going to be the same thing as how I feel with having completed Mount Kilimanjaro. I did that back in January of this year, and like it hit me when I did it, obviously, because I'm up there, I see the sign and everything. But as time goes on and I'm reading and I do a little more research and stuff and I'm seeing more things, I'm just like, holy crap, like I did that. I really did that. And it becomes more and more impressive every time I go back and I look at the pictures and I look at this. And I think that's going to be the same thing with this book. The longer it's gone out, that it's been out, holy crap, I really did. Of all people, I published a book. Like nobody would have thought I promise you. I'm sure my English teachers are very happy. I was good in English. I just didn't like writing. And I'm sure they're going to be very proud of me. But it's going to be like, holy crap, did I really do that? I really published a book? That's pretty damn cool.
Awesome. I mean, I love this story. I mean, it's just so many gems and jewels that she's dropped for us today. I mean, the understanding of how to perceive something, how to use what you have. I'm sharing this on different podcasts all the time. What do you have that you're not sharing with the world? And Jodi, I mean, she's the prime example of she's the poster child of what you're supposed to do. She has it. She was already journaling. Somebody wanted to hear it. It wasn't like that she came out with this big old aha idea. Well, you know what? I need to write 10 books and be with Simon and Schuster. No, she took what she had and she's using it, and people want it. I'm telling you, it's a great story. I want to encourage each and every one of you to make sure that you go get you a copy as well and be excited. Now, we're not going to be responsible, liable. If you know you're not in shape, don't try to go climb a mountain right now. Make sure you start out with some cardio. Get your wind up, baby. Get your wind up first. I don't want y'all suing my girl Jodi saying, Darren them told me to climb a mountain. I want to go to higher heights. Don't do that. Start where you are with a mile or something. Just do a mile or a lap around the track first. Then you can get to the next step. Now, with that being said, please give information, social media handles. Where can they purchase the book? How can they connect with you?
So you can purchase the book at mylifeinthe50states.com. I am very active on Facebook and Instagram. My Instagram name is Jodi the Gypsy. My friends nicknamed me that a few years ago whenever I just started all this traveling stuff. And then on Facebook, Jodi Greve, and it's Greve. And I'm very, I'm very transparent. I show the good, I show the bad. I mean, right before I went to Kilimanjaro, I was having a lot of issues. One thing, if you do Kilimanjaro, plan it out, because I decided to do this the beginning of September 2018, and I went and hiked January 2019. I suggest a little more than 4 months of planning, but hey, whatever, it worked out great. But yeah, just everybody has their own Kilimanjaro, whether it's the actual physical mountain or something else that they want to achieve. And you got to find your own Kilimanjaro and go after it.
I love that. You know, I know we didn't talk a lot about it in this episode. We could only talk about so much, but y'all need to get with my girl Jodi and have her come speak. Now, Jodi got some fire and whatnot. We just tapped in this a little bit or whatnot. I hear Darren is being like on Match.com or whatnot. But for those of you who listen to these episodes, we know we have those who are student advisors out there, those who are program coordinators. Make sure that you give my girl Jodi in, because that last part right there, that's a whole keynote right there. That's a workshop retreat, because we're all dealing with our own mountains. We all have our own Goliaths that we have to face and we have to defeat to get to where we want to go to fulfill our full potential. So thank you, Jodi, so much for coming on to the Author Spotlight. I really appreciate you taking time out your busy schedule, your gypsy schedule, because I know you might be catching a flight on the road somewhere, but I thank you for taking time to come on to the Author Spotlight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anytime. Hey, we will have that information in the show notes. Until next time, remember that this is the year for your new book. Be blessed and be great.